Chapter 18. A Boy and a Dinosaur. They stayed perfectly still, staring at each other, William and the Christmasaurus. A boy and a dinosaur, face to face for the first time in history. Neither of them knew what to say or what to do. Then suddenly William let out a frightened "Ah!" and the dinosaur released a scared roar. They both sat roaring and screaming at each other for what felt like the longest time, until eventually they both ran out of breath and stopped. They searched each other's faces, although neither of them knew what they were searching for. They found that they were both just as frightened as each other, which suddenly made them not scared of each other at all. It's funny how things work out like that. "William, what's all this noise?" croaked sleepy Mr. Trundle from upstairs. William looked into the dinosaur's big, frightened blue eyes. "Nothing, Dad. Just had a bad dream," William replied at his first attempt of sounding casual. There was a pause, and he seemed for such a long time. "Oh, okay," said Mr. Trundle. "Well, let's get some sleep or Santa won't come." And with that, William heard his dad's bedroom door close. "Hello," William said quietly as he wheeled himself slowly into the living room over the pile of festive debris and now decorating the floor. He rolled across the fireplace and couldn't believe his eyes. There, right in front of them, was an actual living, breathing dinosaur. How was it possible? Not only that, he was the most awesome looking dinosaur William had ever seen. He had smooth, icy scales, big blue eyes like a wintry lion, but he was currently tangled from head to tail in ribbon and wrapping paper, tinsel and fairy lights. The dinosaur was decorated with a Christmas tree. As William got closer, he saw that there was a big tag and looking loosely tucked under the dinosaur's back. It said, "For William, from Santa." "No way," William said. "I never in my wildest dreams thought Santa would bring me a real dinosaur." Suddenly he found the courage to reach out his hand and stroke the dinosaur. But just as his hand got to a millimetre away from the dinosaur's long, smooth nose, the creature turned to look at something through the window, and William looked in his gaze. Something small and red was zooming across the sky. The Christmasaurus burst into a run once again, this time heading out of the living room towards the front door. He scrambled and skidded on all the decorations and bits of plastic Christmas tree, becoming more tangled as he went. Suddenly William felt a sharp yank at his wheelchair, spun round on the spot. "Oh no, wait!" he screamed. He looked down and saw the other end of the fairy lights and tinsel were wrapped around the dinosaur and became tangled round his wheelchair. He was attached to the dinosaur. His wheelchair lurched forward and he was suddenly dragging across the living room and into the hallway. All William could do was hold on for dear life as he panicked and determined dinosaur launched full speed ahead towards the front door. "Stop! Wait!" cried William. "The front door is locked." But it didn't matter. The Christmasaurus bowed his hard, scaly head, and in one massive bam, he burst through the door, pulling William and his wheelchair through the dinosaur-shaped hole and into the snowy street. The Christmasaurus searched the sky for Santa's sleigh as he ran. In the clouds, it was cloudy now and difficult to see. But there it was, just for a split second. It poked through a break in the clouds, shiny and red, zooming through the sky. It must have been moonlight reflecting on the red paint of the sleigh. He gave chase, sprinting as fast as his dinosaur legs could carry him, littering the streets with broken baubles as he was flying off and the strings tangled around his body. He skidded round the icy corners and William whizzing along behind him. William used the brakes in his wheelchair to avoid lampposts, parked cars, post boxes, and occasionally cat that had accelerated through the town. The Christmasaurus couldn't even see the sleigh anymore. It was above the snow clouds and getting away. But the only one thing for it, he thought the Christmasaurus, he was going to fly. He'd seen the reindeers do it 1,000,000 times. He'd spent his whole life dreaming of flying, and tonight was his night. He could feel it. He put his head down low and started a strange reindeer-like gallop. "What are you doing?" cried William as he got face full of snow, kicking from the crazed dinosaur. He brushed the snow off his eyes just in time to see the Christmasaurus take a deep breath, his strides getting longer and higher and longer. Then at one side of the road, the Christmasaurus spotted some sort of ramp had been used for the roadworks, the perfect takeoff ramp. The Christmasaurus headed straight for the ramp and galloped up as fast as he could, his eyes set on his target, the sky. William couldn't believe he was seeing. This dinosaur is bonkers. He doesn't have wings. He isn't a reindeer. He can't fly. William thought to himself as he held on tight to the armrest of his wheelchair, too scared to let go to buckle in his seatbelt. As the dinosaur reached the end of the ramp, he took an almighty leap in the air, pulling William and the wheelchair off the ground. They came crashing down in a pile of rubble, sending a mixture of dust and Christmas sparkles into the air. William only just managed to keep his chair from tipping over. They didn't fly, just as William had thought. All the glittering dust settled and the clouds parted for a moment, just long enough for them to see the red flashing lights of an aeroplane flying overhead. It wasn't the sleigh after all. The Christmasaurus let out a sad, lost roar, and William put his arm out to give him a comforting stroke. It was the first time he'd ever touched a dinosaur. His skin was bumpy but smooth at the same time, warm but also cool, magical. "Were you trying to fly?" William asked. The Christmasaurus nodded, ashamed that he'd been failed. "Oh, I'm really sorry, but I don't believe dinosaurs can fly," William said. The Christmasaurus looked sad. Something about William's words seemed to hurt. William saw that he was upset and instinctively put his arms round the dinosaur's soft, solid neck and gave him a hug. "It's okay. I know how you feel," whispered William, and he gently stroked the dinosaur's head. That was the moment that William and the Christmasaurus, became dinosaur friends. But the boy and the dinosaur had something else in common. They'd both just heard a noise. Someone else was in the street with them.